cool cats and kittens? I'm just here with Hillary at Ikea getting some supplies for my DIY Ikea hacks. Hi everyone, I'm coming to you from Ikea with an Ikea hacks video because you guys really loved the last one. And I've got this gal with me.
Hey guys! This video is jam-packed with lots of good stuff, mostly because I'm in it, but there are some good DIYs too, so it's true.
Hey, if you like this video while you're watching, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Also tigers.
Nailed it.
On to the video. Check out these DIYs. You're gonna love them. Okay, so I started with this little planter box that I found in the as is section. I took some pliers and sort of just tore the whole thing apart, leaving me with 4 pieces of wood for this picture hanger. After I removed the nails, I sanded down the remaining glue just to make the wood pieces super duper smooth. Next, I grabbed some of these crazy strong magnets that are sticky on the back, and in retrospect, I think I could have gone with even stronger magnets or even a strip magnet instead of these small squares, so I've linked some better options for you in the description box below. These are just what I had on hand. I attached them to one of the wood pieces, and then I stuck the other row of magnets right on top of the first so I could make sure that the next piece of wood was perfectly lined up. Then I gave the whole thing a good smushing to ensure that they were stuck on there good and proper. I drilled a small hole in 2 of the corners of one of the pieces of wood and then threaded some of the cording through the holes. You could use macrame cord, yarn, twine, or jute, or whatever you want if you plan to do this yourself. I just happen to have this macrame cord on hand. I threaded it through using a little piece of painter's tape on one end of the cord so that it would pass through the holes easily. I tied a knot in each end, and that's it, guys. I sandwiched a print in between the 4 pieces of wood, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and boom, done and done. This is going in Hillary's daughter Isabel's babe cave, and she picked a quote from the movie Mean Girls that I think is super funny and will give this room a lot of personality. For under 10 bucks, this picture hanger Ikea hack turned out pretty dang cute if I do say so myself.
Hey everyone, Hillary here. Like Sarah said, don't forget to visit the As Is section at Ikea. I found this awesome coffee table in amazing condition and knew it would be perfect for my music room, which I'm making over. Added bonus, this came assembled. This hack is easy. All you need is macrame cord and a glue gun. I used 4mm macrame cord because I have a ton on hand for my next project, which you're going to see a little later in this video. I started by winding a large piece of my macrame cord on my hand to make it easier to get it in between the dowels of the table. Pro tip, I discovered this halfway through this. Wind it onto a pencil, it makes it much easier to keep it wound. I started by gluing the end of my cord and just started wrapping. As I was wrapping, I kept tension and every couple loops made sure to pull my cord tight and close together. When I got to the next dowel, I added more glue and secured my cord around it. And at this point, this is where I realized I totally screwed up. Exactly what I was doing on the back, securing the macrame cord to the dowels, should have been happening on the top side as well. Then I wrapped, and wrapped a little more. And if you're a mom like me, you might take a small break to braid your daughter's hair and feed your baby. Also, I wish I would have set this table on top of my kitchen table so I could stand doing this project because my back is really feeling it 3 days later. This time lapse makes it look like it went really fast, but in actuality, I spent about 2 hours wrapping my table. And here it is. This is going in my music room that I'm currently making over, which you're gonna see in a future video. I love the contrast that this cord gives to the table. I took this from a regular plain old coffee table to something a little more boho with just a little macrame and a glue gun. I love it.
This next project is ridiculously easy and your tiny little baby could probably do it. Okay, maybe not your tiny little baby, but I'm telling you, it's easy. I grabbed these baskets from Ikea and used painter's tape to mask off a portion of each of them in whatever random pattern I was feeling at the moment, and then I spray painted them with some white spray paint. I brought them back inside after drying and used a 1/2-inch drill bit to drill 3 evenly spaced holes about 1 inch from the top of each basket. I then threaded a strand of cotton string through each hole and tied a knot on the outside, leaving a little bit of extra string at the end of the knot to make it look like a little tassel. I separated the string to fray it a bit and then gave it a little trim and then did that 2 more times to complete 1 basket. I gathered all the strings evenly at their ends and then tied a knot. I repeated this whole process to the other 2 baskets and then threw some dangling Ikea plants in each of them and hung them all to the ceiling grouped together. Ta-da! Fun fact about me, I literally kill all plants. No matter how hard I try, I do not have a green thumb, so this is a perfect little piece of decor for me. Like I said, this project is super simple, but it can be changed up in lots of ways. You can use any color of paint, any pattern, any plant, and it's super cute and super easy.
This is seriously my favorite project. I'm sure you've seen this pendant all over Pinterest. It's seriously one of the best things that Ikea has to offer right now. This is going into my daughter's babe cave that we are making over. We wanted to give it a little bit more personality. I used a 4mm macrame cord, a glue gun, and really sharp scissors. Everyone needs an amazing pair of scissors in their DIY tool bag. I've linked my favorites down below. I also used a pet brush to comb the tassels out. You'll see that in just a second. I unwind a bunch of macrame cord to give myself a little bit of slack, and then I wound the cord around the book in a single layer. I laid the book down flat and cut along each end and did this several more times to get enough cord for my tassels. I think I made about 100 tassels, and each tassel has 3 cords. I separated some of the cording to use as a wrap for my tassels and set that aside. I laid 3 strands of cord on top of one of the separated strands to tie 3 together. I tied a knot and then folded it in half. I then used more of the wrapping cord to create the tassel. This is where the pet brush comes in. I didn't want to scratch up my table or my hand, so I used my book again to brush it out. I did this here and there over the course of a couple days while binging Netflix and ended up with this big old pile of tassels. I was trying to figure out exactly where I wanted to place the tassels and landed on one clean row at the top and the bottom. This next part is really self-explanatory. I just added glue a little bit at a time, adding one tassel next to the other. Once my tassels were placed, I trimmed them with my really amazing scissors. Guys, this was like the time I trimmed my own bangs in the 7th grade. Just taking a little more off, and then a little more off, and then a little bit more off until they were too short. In retrospect, I wish I would have left these a little bit longer, but here it is in all its glory. I love how this turned out. I can't wait to see this whole room all put together. This will definitely be my favorite piece in the room.
And that's it for this week's video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We had such a blast making this video together, and we plan to do a bunch more content together. So if you'd like to hit that subscribe button, please do. We would love to have you back here next Sunday.